Welcome back everyone to the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. I'm sure you are all very aware that we're continuing to show the drama and the fictional story that's now showing. The story is The Intimidation, and it's starring the DPP and Garda Kieran Reidy. And obviously the reasoning behind why we are creating these videos for Aaron's campaign is to highlight how the authorities, in association with it looks like the whole of the Irish judicial system and the mainstream media in Ireland, have tried to portray in some way that Aaron and ourselves, the Brady family, were some way involved in intimidating witnesses in Aaron's case. And we have shown quite clearly to date, and I think we're up to 9-0 now, that it is the authorities and Garda Kieran Reidy who were intimidating witnesses during the course of the investigation and during the course of the trial. And we have always said this is vitally important because we do believe that the authorities, in association with the mainstream media, will try and muddy the waters once again as upcoming trials take place and as we move into Aaron's appeal. And we have said from the outset, we will not stand back and allow it to happen again. And we will call out sloppy journalism and efforts by the authorities to blacken our name in relation to the intimidation of witnesses. So as you can see there, we're up to 9-0, and we're going to pop that up now to 10-0 very quickly. And the reason for that is just going to read a paragraph now from an affidavit that was created by Aaron's solicitors in relation to the behaviour of Garda Kieran Reidy in New York and Boston. And I'm just going to read this paragraph out, and then we'll go into a little bit of detail about it and look how it fits exactly how we have portrayed other witnesses who were intimidated by the Irish authorities. So there's it up on the screen there, and we'll call this girl Mary. So Mary was arrested outside Dunkin' Donuts as she was about to get into her car. So the first line there immediately, we're going to have a quick word now from the Senior Investigating Officer, Mr. Pat Murray.
In town, witnesses were found who had crucial evidence in the case.
There was approximately 5 persons who came forward with information in where they stated that Aaron Brady had mentioned he was the one who shot the guard.
And I know everyone has seen this video before, but it's vitally important to see the brazenness of these people to sit up and say the people came forward. Nobody came forward. And here we have another situation where a young girl was arrested. So Pat Murray is obviously telling lies, because I am sure the mainstream media, whether it be Reynolds, Schiller, Reynolds, Cummings, Ali Bracken, I'm sure they've gone to Pat Murray and said, Mr. Murray, can you tell us the 5 people who came forward? He'd be looking at his shoes because he couldn't answer. It would be as simple as that. So we'll move on now with this paragraph from the affidavit. She was taken to HSI Federal Building for processing. There she was interviewed by Detective Sergeant Reidy for 2 hours. She denied having any knowledge of the robbery at Lordship of the shooting of Detective Garda Donoghue. Detective Sergeant Reidy interaction with Mary took place in a cell area. This is disturbing. This meeting took place in a manner which was informal and not recorded. The location, the cell area, must have been intimidatory for Mary. So I think that's quite clear, the first part of that paragraph. You have a young girl here sitting in a cell with an obese, red-faced detective from Ireland. On her own in a cell. Now, if we hark back to what Mary and Ogle, the actions they undertook during the course of the identification of Aaron with Christopher DeLaya, you can see clearly that these detectives, as part of the Irish judicial system, have no worries or qualms whatsoever about breaking all rules in relation to how to deal with witnesses. And if these people were genuine witnesses, this type of behaviour would not have to happen. And if Pat Marry was telling the truth about people coming forward, these types of incidents would not have to happen. So we'll just move on with the next part of it. It demonstrates that the relationship between Garda Síochána and Homeland Security must have been very cosy to allow a meeting to take place in that way. So once again, we the Brady family are asking and begging someone in the American authorities to recognise what happened here. Because we have said all along, we do believe the American authorities were fed a load of lies by the Irish authorities to allow this despicable behaviour to take place in New York and Boston. So we're putting that plea out. There must be someone in the American authorities that knows now what went on was totally wrong. And they were fed a load of lies by Marry, Phillips, Ogle, Gill, Reidy, Cowan. All those people were telling lies. The defence only learned about it by happenstance. Detective Sergeant Reidy's notes of the meeting were only uncovered after several weeks of reading tens of thousands of documents. And once again, I'll just interject there again, this was done purposely to hide this disgusting behaviour by Detective Reidy. And similar was done in other interactions and notes that was taken by members of Garda Síochána. And indeed, Detective Phillips himself, his notes went missing and then he forgot to take notes. He forgot them. Obviously, when it suited, these notes were forgotten, and when it suited, these notes were hidden. And we have to ask the question, does the DPP, did Brendan Grehan and Mr. Stain, were they aware of these notes and the behaviour of those people they were working with? That question has to be asked somewhere in the very near future. I beg to refer on a typed version of a note made by Detective Sergeant Reidy of his dealings with Mary, which is marked with the letters NM2. I have signed my name prior to the swearing hereof. It begs the question of how many other meetings took place which are undocumented. So here we have a situation where a solicitor here in Ireland is absolutely gobsmacked by the behaviour of Garda Síochána. And he signed off on a legal document which he presented to the court. And he says there, I beg the question, how many other interviews and interactions was there of coercion and intimidation that are not documented? So I think that's fairly straightforward. It speaks for itself. What Mary went through there, that young girl, is a complete disgrace. And Reidy should be hanging his head in shame for that sort of behaviour, because he was investigating his friend's murder. And if he has the stoop to act like this, it beggars belief of the status of our judicial system and our police force. So obviously that brings our score up to intimidation by the authorities of witnesses up to 10. Intimidation of witnesses by the Bradys, 0. And we stand to be questioned on any of those points we have put up over the previous few videos. And a regular contributor to Aaron's page has contacted us in relation to some of what we've put out recently, Mr. Big Stones. And I'll just pop it up there. There's a couple of points and we'll just go through them. 2 suspects in the robbery and murder approach a witness and try to force a confession by being passive-aggressive. Okay, passive-aggressive. If I just put this up here, this is what this gentleman told us. He was facing 25 years in jail for harbouring a known IRA man. Lies. The man was told a tissue of lies. He was threatened with 25 years in jail. And if you, I'm sure Mr. Big Stones and some of your colleagues are fully aware of this man's charge sheet in America, and he's still walking the streets. So I do believe from looking back at your previous interactions, you've had some help with your grammar and your adjectives. And I'm not sure what adjectives, passive-aggressive, doesn't really suit detectives threatening a man with 25 years in jail. I think we can drop the passive part of that. Another part of his text, the same two people, along with Aaron, were previous suspects in previous robberies, along with another man who's in custody. So, very clearly, we have made this clear on numerous occasions. The two young men who videoed Matt in the previous video that we released, the two of them were named the suspects. And I will repeat once again, once the DPP and Garda Kieran realised we had found a video of one of those young men in a local shop and the testimony proving he was in his own home at the time Detective Garda Adrian Donahue lost his life, he was dropped out of the scene altogether. And I have told the public this on numerous occasions, that Brendan Graham, Senior Counsel for the prosecution, continuously named these two young men in October, November, December and into January, at the end of 2019 and into 2020. And when they realised that the evidence was clear and plain that one of those young men was at home, they dropped his name and stopped mentioning it. So I have explained that quite clearly, Mr. Big Stones. We'll just go down one more, we'll just have a look at. How dare you and anyone who makes comments that does not suit your narrative, you call it being attacked. You have some neck. I have never said any of the comments were any form of attack. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, Mr. Big Stones. The Brady family and the Brady campaign is entitled to his opinion. The only time we have ever mentioned being attacked is our social media sites. And hopefully I'll try and get an official report from professionals in the social media and professional web designers who will show that all our social media sites have been attacked. We have never attacked anyone. And that's a false narrative again. And we have replied to you on a number of occasions, Mr. Big Stones, and in all fairness, you've never responded to a reply, because we've given an answer and either you've accepted it, or if you haven't accepted it, you haven't come back to us on it. But you do always give us a very good chance to explain more detail about the collusion, corruption and the coercion on Garda Kieran and the DPP. And just one final thing, you do mention family ties there in your comment. And we have said, and particularly recently, there have been a number of families affected by the investigation and the trial of Aaron Brady. And as I've said just previously, you have gathered some more adjectives. Can you get adjectives to explain that there? Your colleague, Detective Joe Ryan, said the gunman was 6'1" or 6'2". The CCTV footage shows clearly that the man with the shotgun is head and shoulders above the man with the handgun. Mary, the credit union worker, I've repeated this on numerous occasions, and it's something that you haven't come back on, Mr. Stones. And I know there are numerous people that may have the same opinion as yourself. But there must be some adjective you can find that will explain that. So that leaves us at a situation, Mr. Big Stones, 10 times we have shown clearly. And there are more. There's more to come. And there's more we can't mention at the moment, but in the very near future, we will bring those to the fore. The Bradys have intimidated nobody. And I do thank you, Mr. Big Stones, for your interactions. They're always very useful and gives us a great opportunity to explain in more detail the corruption, the collusion and the coercion by the authorities. We will bring one more video, I think, just before Christmas, and then we will again round that off in the new year as we move forward, and we focus our campaign in just a slightly different direction. We thank everyone for their interaction. We've had some wonderful messages. Thank you so much. The support is very, very, very much appreciated, and we really do need that support. I will ask you once again, if you do have a mind to do so, please contact those in authority. I know a number of people have contacted some of our mainstream media reporters and have been met with a blank response. But please continue to do so and ask why the mainstream media will not print the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. Why those details won't be put up. There's something seriously wrong when you have people like Mr. Stones saying, how dare you, and anyone who makes a comment that does not suit your narrative. You know, how dare you? So we're not allowed to speak. So we know you're coming from Mr. Big Stones. And we'll ask everyone, please, if you can, subscribe, because there has been another attack on the YouTube channel. And I know people are having some difficulty in subscribing. But please continue to try. And the girls did tell me how to do it. There is a way around the block on it, which I can't remember now, but I'll bring to you in the next video. Once again, thank you, and we'll have one more video before Christmas. And keep continuing to like, to comment, and please, please, please share Aaron's story. Thank you.